Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Unless you guys have never seen us before, welcome to my channel. So as you can see by the title, today we're going to talk about some frequently asked questions about service dogs, the laws that apply to them, what qualifies a service dog as a service dog, and all kinds of stuff like that. So I have with me my service dog in training. Her name is Sadie. She is half beagle and half miniature poodle. She will be 10 months old on Christmas. She's very tired. We had a very long day. That's when my other dog's squeaking a toy outside. We had a very long day. We had to take my fiance, Sadie's Dada, to the airport. He shipped off to boot camp today for the Marine Corps. So I'm making this video because I'm trying to keep myself distracted from that. So let's get right into it. Everything that I am telling you is coming directly from the ADA website, which, if you don't know what the ADA is, it is the Americans with Disabilities Act. This basically constitutes all of the laws that apply to people with disabilities, whether that be physical, mental, a mix of both. It covers all of that. This is all very factual. This is the laws. What is a service animal? If you do not know, a service animal, as defined by the ADA, is a dog of any breed or a miniature horse that performs tasks to aid their handler's disabilities. What does perform a task mean? So I'm going to read this because it's going to be clear and concise, way better than I can be. The dog must be trained to take a specific action when needed to assist a person with a disability. And that's, like I just said, whether that be for a diabetic that needs to be alerted for their sugar levels. Tasks vary from handler to handler. Not every service dog is trained for the same thing. Sadie's not trained to alert to seizures. I don't have seizures, so that would not be useful for her to learn. A dog being able to task for a disability is what defines them as a service dog, as opposed to an emotional support animal, which just provides comfort, kind of like she's doing right now, just provides comfort, emotional support, companionship. That all falls under emotional support. They do not have the same rights as service dogs. In a minute, we'll talk about where service dogs are allowed in public and why emotional support animals are not allowed there. So another question that I hear a lot, and a common misconception, is that emotional support animals are service animals. They're not. Does the ADA require service animals to be professionally trained? No, they do not, and this is such a common misconception. There are a couple different avenues you can go about training your service dog. You can also go the route of completely and utterly owner training, which is what I am in the process of doing right now. Sadie is still very young. She is doing very well at everything we have worked on for the month since I've got her. So this little section is kind of going to be for people that work in public places and encounter a service dog in a place where typically pets and animals are not allowed. The biggest one is, what questions can you, as an employee or a business owner, ask when you see a service dog team walk into your store? There are two questions you can ask. Legally, you cannot pry deeper into that person's life, disability, or dog. So the first question you can ask is this dog a service animal required for a disability? You can't go any deeper than that. You cannot ask about what disabilities they have, because for a lot of people with psychiatric disabilities, such as myself, it does not look like we are disabled or like we need a service dog. The second question you can ask is, can this dog perform a task to assist your disability? You can't ask what the task is or what the tasks are, and that's all you can ask. You cannot just ask them to get out of your store, but there is situations where you can. So let's talk about that. If a service dog is being Let me back up. If a service dog is being unruly, barking, snapping at people, snapping at you, your employees, just being a danger to the environment, you are allowed to kick that person and their dog out. Service dogs should not act like that. They should not be taken out if they are having a bad day, an off day. You reserve the right to kick out a team if the dog is not behaving appropriately. This includes peeing and pooping on the floor. Another thing for people that work in public and just passerbys. Service dogs are not required to wear a vest, a patch, a collar, a leash, anything that says they are a service dog. Sadie could go out just like this with her rabies and license on her collar, and that would be perfectly fine. There's no rules that say that she has to wear a certain kind of vest or a certain kind of outfit. There's no rules that say the vest has to say this is a service dog. Most service dog teams do wear that stuff so that people are not distracting their dogs, are not coming up and trying to pet their dogs, and they're just realizing that that dog is working and they need to walk away. Now I'm going to read a little list of places that service dogs are entitled to go with their handlers. So can they go to a salad bar or self-service food lines? Yes, absolutely. Anywhere their handler is allowed to go, they are allowed to go. Can hotels assign designated rooms for guests with service animals out of considerations for other guests? No. Like I said, a true service dog should not be barking and whining or disturbing other guests whatsoever. So in that case, the hotel does not reserve the right to say you have to stay over here away from other guests. No, they stay in a normal room. It doesn't have to be a pet-friendly room. They stay in a typical hotel room with their dog. Can hotels charge a cleaning fee for guests with service dogs? No, they cannot. I'm not sure all the logistics behind that, but they can't. So don't let anyone try to dupe you into thinking that. Can people bring more than one service animal into public? Absolutely. There are some people that 100% need 2 service dogs for different things. I'm going to read the example they have here because I'm bad at thinking of things. So this says, for example, a person with a visual disability, maybe blindness or being legally blind, may have a dog, like a guide dog. And then they also may have a seizure disorder, and in that case they would need a dog that could task to alerting for their seizures and reacting to their seizures. There's plenty others. That's not the only scenario where you would need 2 service dogs. There is a million others. So yes, if someone has 2 service dogs, that's absolutely fine. Someone may also have their service dog and a service dog in training that they're working to get to the place where they have their service dog so that they can retire their older dog. As long as both dogs are behaving the way they should be and everything is kosher, then yes, it's completely legal for someone to have 2 working dogs with them. If you are out at a restaurant or bar or any place that serves food, if you're at Wegmans, if you know what that is, can your dog eat at the table? No. You do not feed your service dog food that you are buying and eating out in public. Do not give them food from the table. That people don't want to see that. There are people in this world that don't like dogs, believe it or not. Sorry, I had to put my other dogs to bed, so I don't know if I said it, but don't feed your dog's food table. I'm just gonna finish that up right there. Are service dogs allowed in public pools with their handlers? No. They can be on the pool deck, they can lay around, they can be in the cabana if you're at like a resort or something, but they cannot go in the pool. Okay, so the only place where a service dog is not necessarily allowed is a religious church, synagogue, temple. In those cases, it is completely up to the facility itself whether it allows service animals. There are certain states though that have laws that do override the principles set in place by the religious entity itself that allow you to take your service dogs in some states. Definitely check your laws, call your church or whatever before you bring your service dog with you. Okay, here's my favorite question. Does the ADA require service dogs to be certified or registered? The answer is no, people. What don't you get about that? There's no such thing as a service dog registry. It's that simple. On top of that, you cannot ask for documentation that an animal is a service dog unless you are the law itself. There's no such thing as documentation for a service dog. If your city or town requires that your dog be vaccinated and licensed before it goes into public, you need to follow that rule. Service dog be any breed of dog? Yes, it can. You probably have a certain idea of what a service dog looks like in your head. When you think of a service dog, you see a lot of labs, retrievers, poodles, doodles, German shepherds, huskies as service dogs. There's some dogs you don't see as much, dogs like Sadie, beagles, corgis. It all depends on the dog's temperament, not their breed. There is stereotypes about a lot of breeds, and some of them can be true. Some of them are just genetics. So to piggyback on that question, can a business discriminate against a breed of dog that is a service dog? No, they cannot. They cannot discriminate against you. They cannot throw you out. They cannot take any action against you solely because of the breed of your dog, whether it be a pit bull, a Rottweiler, a German Shepherd, or whether it be a beagle or a Yorkie or a pug. So this one I'm just going to read directly from the website because it has the facts, and I'm not 100% sure on this yet because I've never lived on my own since I've had Sadie. Do apartments, mobile homes, and other residential properties have to comply with the ADA? And the answer to this question is, the ADA applies to housing programs administered by state and local governments, such as public housing authorities, and by places of public accommodation, such as public and private universities. In addition, the Fair Housing Act applies to virtually all types of housing, both public and privately owned, including housing covered by the ADA. Under the Fair Housing Act, housing providers are obligated to permit, as a reasonable accommodation, the use of animals that work, provide assistance, or perform tasks that benefit a person with a disability, or provide emotional support to alleviate a symptom of effect of a disability. Whew. So basically what that's saying is the Fair Housing Act, it states that people with disabilities are allowed to bring their service dogs into their rentals, whether this be a mobile home, an apartment, a condominium, a house that you're renting. This also applies to emotional support animals. Do commercial airlines have to comply with the ADA? No, they don't, is the technical answer. Basically, on airplanes, you can bring your service dog. That's under a different act called the Air Carrier Access Act. So that basically just protects the rights of someone with a disability while they're traveling in an aircraft to bring their working animal with them. So on that note, I've had a very, very long day and I have to work in the morning. So Sadie and I are going to close out this video. I'm going to wake her up for this. So if you haven't already, please give this video a huge thumbs up. Sadie, give him thumbs up. Thumbs up. Also, if you want, even if you don't want, I want you to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon if you want to get notified every time I post a video. I am Kanan and this is Sadie, and we will see you guys in the next video. Bye.